Hey, good afternoon, Rachel. How are you?
Good.
There you are. Rachel, we talked about this a little while ago. And first, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Rachel and Miller podcast. And it is September 11th, and we are going to request a moment of silence, or excuse me, a minute of silence for the next minute or so. And look, I even unmuted us. Woohoo! Are you
Hi,
frozen?
Miller. No, I'm
Hello.
not frozen.
And
I'm
well,
here.
I'm
We've had a little
glad you're not
hiatus.
frozen.
I was out of town for the last, I think we miss 1 week or two. It felt like forever.
It did. I think we missed one. Maybe
It was just
yeah,
one
it did
week.
feel like a long time. But you know what? We're here now. So hello, everybody. Uh, it has been a tumultuous. Did I say tumultuous?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. It's been a tumultuous couple of weeks. We've both had a lot of life things happening, and just have not had a chance to get back on the live stream and talk about real estate. And like we did a moment ago, we did a moment of silence. It is 9/11, 24 years ago. It was a day that will live in infamy. So on to brighter and happier subjects. Uh, my phone, just as we went live, just started exploding. So that's always a good thing. Uh, so, Rachel, you had a closing, and you did a closing the other day, or yesterday, I think it was, on one of
Tuesday
your
we
most.
closed. Yes.
Yes.
On a mobile home in the Ventu Park mobile home community here. It's in the Newberry Park / Thousand Oaks area, 55 and up. And this is my second deal in the mobile home in that community. And mobile homes are different than single family residential. Very different. There's sometimes there's no title, so you don't have to worry about title and transfer of title. Depending on the age of the mobile home, there may not be a lender involved. I think mobile homes have to be built in 1976 or thereafter for lenders to be willing to lend on it. In other words, the age of the mobile home is going to it could get in the way. So this was a 1974 mobile home, and it needed a lot of work. So a lot of buyers came in thinking that they can find a lender, and they were not able to. So we ended up doing an all cash deal, which was a great thing. But are you Googling? Are you going to find out? 1976, I think, or thereafter.
June 15th, 1976.
Yeah. And then there's also park approval. So you have to go through the management company. Your buyers need to go through the management company, or at least in this particular park, which is probably true for most parks. And they need to go through a vetting process. This particular park, they look for somewhere upwards of 3 times the lot lease amount in terms of the incoming, your monthly income. So, and that can be difficult for people who are maybe in their 70s and they're on a retirement, and the lot pieces they're going up. Each time they can go up, and there is a rent control, but it can go up 3% a year. It doesn't mean it will. And when somebody sells their mobile home and a new buyer comes in, I believe that the lot lease goes up 6%. Another interesting fact in this particular mobile home park is if somebody comes in and buys a mobile home and removes it to put in a new one within the first 12 months of them purchasing the original, the land lease can go up exponentially. So if you take off the original mobile home that you purchased to put something else on, it very much affects the rent of the land. It can go up a lot. So there's a lot to consider.
Mobile home sales are definitely different for sure. I have done probably 6 to 10. I have to go back and look. It may be more than that.
But a lot of yours are on owned land though, right?
Correct. A lot of mine are on owned land. However, the same thing still comes into play with 1976 and the 433A. And in English, what that means is a permanent foundation. And there are flippers or investors that actually specialize in flipping mobile homes.
Yes.
Which is interesting.
And the minute you list one, they call you a lot.
and not to talk, I'll talk smack a little bit. It's funny, as you're right, they do. They immediately start calling you. Well, myself, like you, I don't want to start referring people to someone who I don't know. We like to refer people that we know, like, and trust. So I had one send me a message yesterday about a property, and I was like, "Who are you?" And he says, "Oh, I'm Tom." "Oh, okay." And
hi, Tom.
"Who are you?" "Hi, Tom. Who are you?" And he's like, "I have money, and I want to flip mobile homes." "Okay, here's my email address. Why don't you send me your information?" "Okay, my assistant will call you."
Crickets.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I asked you to send me an email, not call me.
Right.
I'm going to send me your information. I'm going to see if you're legit. Is again, we like to refer to we refer to people that we know, like, and trust. And just call me out of the blue, I may end up knowing and trusting you, but right now I don't know who you are, and I don't want to send anybody to you. So it's interesting to see. And sometimes I don't even know how they even get the information. Like, we're, as realtors, we are privy to all kinds of cool information that comes our way. That, like,
they probably have some kind of program that gives them bings and alerts every time a new mobile home or manufactured home hits the market.
Right. I was gonna say, or they have little drones that just buzz around like this. Before we get to our main one, I had a call the other day from a investment company who's trying to sell a mobile home here in Ridgecrest on about 12,000 square foot. And I'm like, okay. And then it comes out that there's squatters there, and they haven't paid anything in months and months. And I get asked, "Hey, do you mind going by and talking to them?" "Yes, I mind." But thanks.
Yeah.
I did do a drive-by, and I looked at it, and it's a decent place. There's a really nice travel trailer parked right next to it. I'm like, okay, well, that's interesting. Well, then I did some more due diligence and found out they have a 6 kilowatt solar system on top of their trailer, on top of the mobile home. Neither the investor or anybody else seems to know, but I'm like, it's sitting right there. It's on it. I can see it in permits. I talked to my investor, and I'm like, yeah, that can be extra $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, depending on the solar program, if they decide to get crazy and just charge them crazy amounts.
So you don't know if it's owned?
I know that it's not owned. I saw it. There's a a lien on the property with it. So
Oh,
I was like, oh, okay.
that
And
makes
it
things
doesn't.
fun.
Oh yeah, it's dicey. And like I said, the investor that called me didn't know anything about it until I sent him a message, and he's like, oh, now I see it. And my investor's like, ooh, oh, we did make an offer on it, but it was a very, very, very low offer. Is there's too many unknowns. And my job and your job is to protect our customer, who mine happens to be an investor. My job is to protect him. Is I like having an investor in my back pocket
Sure.
that has money to spend. I told him I wouldn't do it, and he's like, "We'll make an offer," but it was in the like almost the single digit numbers.
$999,000.
909. Yes, it was actually. It was just under the $10,000 mark. We're like, and they're like, well, we were thinking more like 30. I'm like, yeah, no.
Well, before we took our little break last week, or before I disappeared on you last week, we talked about, we pretended like you're Mr. Mentor Man, and you have a new agent, and that agent got a new listing. So they procured their first seller, and we went through like some of the basic steps on what to do and how to get started, right? What?
Correct. Yep.
You're glitching. I can't hear what you're saying, but are you making fun of me?
Maybe.
Don't make fun of me. I'm feeling really, really sensitive today, Scott. Like,
okay, fine.
Like I might cry at any moment.
Okay, fine.
No, I'm kidding. You know me better than that. You know me better than that.
Yeah.
I only cry in my car alone when nobody's watching. Today we're going to talk about Mr. Mentor Man. You have a new agent, and your agent has their very first buyer. So we just kind of like made a little list of, we talked about the top 10 things, and number 1 and number 2, we had a little chat. Is one first or 2 first? And so those 2 things together, not giving them any numerical importance, is confirm the buyer representation agreement. So you got your buyer broker agreement, and your buyers are pre-approved for a home loan. So which one comes first?
That's where you and I
say you.
I'm going to say A and A1, AB. Wait, A1?
There were no B's and A's. There was just 1s and 2s.
No, let's confirm that they're both at the same time. So confirm the buyer representation agreement / is the buyer pre-approved. How's that?
You're so non-committal. I think that having the buyer broker agreement in place first is a good idea. And also during that conversation, you would ask them, are you pre-approved? Do you have a pre-approval letter? If they say yes, great, good to go. If they say no, then you've got your favorite lenders in your back pocket. You're going to send them to your lenders. But I think it's a good idea to have that buyer broker agreement in place in tandem of that. I say don't have that buyer broker agreement in place and say go get pre-approved and come back, because they could go get pre-approved and along the way decide to use another agent. So you've set them on the path, and then you went bye-bye. So if you have that agreement in place and then set them down the path, then you have that relationship established already.
I agree.
So good.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Good.
And it goes back to what we were talking about a little while ago, is being we like, know, and trust our people. When we have that when the mentee comes to me and says, "Hey, I got a buyer, sweet. So have you done a buyer broker agreement?" Yes, awesome. Did you happen to ask them if they're pre-approved? You're going to be my mentee. Are they pre-approved, Rachel?
No, they're not pre-approved yet.
Okay, that's awesome, because we have a number of different people we can reach out to them. Do you have, Rachel, the mentee, do you have somebody that you like already, or I have some people I can send your direction to
I
reach
have
out
a
to?
lender that I cannot wait to send him some business. I do have a lender.
Awesome. So you send your lender and that buyer an email. Call them both first and say, "Hey, I'm going to be sending you both an email. It's going to be an introduction email, so they're expecting it." And then hand them to your lender. And in the meantime, you can still talk to your buyer, even they're not pre-approved yet, but you can start your due diligence, clarify their wants, needs, their ain't gonna happen program. If this house has this, it's not happening, does not include ghosts. Oh, and I have a story on that.
A ghost story?
Yeah, a ghost story, yes. Maybe I'll tell you that in October. Clarify when they're getting their stop it. When they're getting their when they're getting their pre-approval, now is the great time to find out what their wants and needs are. How many bedrooms? How many kids do they have? You already know that, but do they have kids? Do they have any fur babies? Which way do they want to go? Is there a part of town they want to live in more than another part of town?
Location. Can't really talk about budget until they're pre-approved. So kind of doing some of that due diligence is almost like just like pre-qual investigation type stuff.
Right.
Just so that you're kind of like ahead of the game a little, but some of that investigation can change after you know what how the amount of a loan they're qualified for.
Right. And it happens a lot, and it happens to me a lot, is I'll get people that come into me and we'll do a BRBC. And you know what, as I'm thinking about this out loud, I will typically get my BRBC first and then find out if they're pre-approved.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, you win. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, out of my head. So now that I've totally lost my train of thought because I started thinking about that. It's out of my head. What was I talking about?
As a new agent and you're my mentor, I would say, well, why is it so important that my buyers get pre-qualified before we go start looking? Why do I need to do that?
Great question. And this is a question that comes up with other buyers all the time, is they may like this house over here on ABC Street with the 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, swimming pool, jacuzzi, jungle gym, and it's simply out of their price range. And it's not a personal affront on them. It's just they're not able to financially qualify for that. To limit their fragility on liking houses, let's get an idea of what they can afford. And you can talk to your lender and say, "Hey, I know you're still working on this. Can you give me an idea what you're thinking right now?" And that way you can start your MLS search and alerts just to get an idea what's happening. Is your lender's going to have an idea?
What if I'm Mr. Mentor. What if I go into a house and I've got my buyers and I don't have a pre-approval letter, but I want to put in an offer, but I don't have a pre-approval letter?
I would strongly urge you not to do that. And the reason for that is going back to what I just said a moment ago. The customer, your buyer, really likes this house. And the word I was using was fragility, being a fragile person.
I understand.
They love this house. Okay, I'm saying it for the people that didn't. For my dog sitting next to me. Yeah, my dog speaks too. He says hello. Yeah, now he's looking at me. Thanks. It can be very, very disheartening and it will end up being your fault that they couldn't get the house. It's not, but they're going to see it as it's your fault.
Is it safe to say that an offer looks stronger and comes in stronger if your buyer has a pre-approval?
Absolutely.
That's what I'm trying to get you to say to me.
What she said right there. What she said. She said. It does. It looks a lot stronger. And there are agents, sellers agents, who won't even take the offer if there's not a pre-approval.
No, and I think in today's world, 99.99% of the offers are going to have pre-qualification letters as well as proof of funds. You got to show that stuff up front.
We do on the RPA, Residential Purchase Agreement. You see, I had to go through the initials in my head.
All right.
On the RPA, the Residential Purchase Agreement, don't ask me the number, but down about halfway, it asks, do you have proof of funds and pre-approval now or within 3 days? And if you are submitting an offer and your seller has one that says I'll commit in 3 days and one that says I have it all, which one are you going to go with? And
right.
Even if the one that isn't have all the pre-approvals is better, what's that saying? A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. So you're more likely to take that other deal.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
Well, you have it already, so you don't have to go try to hunt it because it's already in your hands. You got to chew on it.
Got it.
Don't chew. That's Ozzy.
Got it.
Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah.
Okay. So we've got our buyer representation agreement. We've got our pre-approval. We've clarified my new buyer's needs and wants. Now what do I do?
Well, once we have all that done, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk to them and we're going to educate them on the home buying process. This is where, in my opinion, some agents fail. Is some agents believe that their customer knows how this works and just say, okay, sign here, sign here, sign here, and we'll get it done.
When was the last time you were in the market?
Right.
My recent buyers hadn't been in the market in over 25 years.
Oh, that was the one that said, can I just give you a check and we get the house? That was something like that. You're like, no.
So
but if you make it out to the Maui Fund, we can do that. But yeah, educating the buyer on how everything works and when your check-in process, what your check-in process looks like. Do you need to do a different check-in process for this particular buyer? That's a big deal.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
What about setting up searches in the MLS?
I would definitely do this. Set up the searches in the MLS.
Lists.
For yourself to get a good idea. However, thinking about it, when you talked to your lender a few minutes ago, you kind of have an idea. So you've done some pre-work and some pre-due diligence to get an idea. And now you have that and set up some searches that will send to your buyer also. Or you can also set it so it sends to you, or it just sends the ones that check all 10 boxes. And that's kind of a unicorn for something to check all 10 boxes. However, you can check 6 of the boxes and it sends off to them. And then they can say, okay, I want to see this one, and this one. You and I were on a phone call yesterday with some people from Sacramento, and one of the agents said he shows people 10 to 30 houses, and I was shocked. I was like, what? 10 to 30 houses? Oh my goodness. At the end of the call, I had a one-on-one with him, and I asked him more. And when he said that, it was more of a cultural thing for him and his customers that I wasn't aware of. But when he said 10 to 30, I was like, that's a lot of houses.
How is it a cultural thing? They're just spending time together?
I didn't really ask. That's just what he said. And I said, okay, cool. Large families. If mom likes it, they have to bring dad back. They weren't, if everybody wasn't there, they need to bring everybody back.
I see. So not, okay. So maybe multiple times to one house.
He said 10 to 30 houses.
Okay.
I was like, wow, that's a lot.
Well, that is a lot. I'm not even sure that I would have that many houses in my area that would satisfy my buyer's wish list.
Right.
Like, you got to sift it down.
That was my point to him.
Okay.
I said, you really, I said, I don't know your market. In my market, I know my market, and I know some other markets around here. I think you're showing too many houses. You need to really narrow it down.
And if it's working for him,
it seems to be.
We've got.
He's done. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. Well, I was going to say we got about 4 minutes left. We can.
4 minutes.
I know we can stop here and come back to this next week if you want to give us your ghost story.
No, we're good. Let's go rip through this one. I'll save you. Okay. I'll tell you my ghost story later. So we'll just do the rest of these because we have a couple more minutes. So
all right. Well, we'll just go through them really quick. So we've got schedule. In part of, I think you mentioned educate the home buying process. Big one. Walk them through the California specific steps. Disclosures, contingencies, escrow, and inspections, especially if they haven't been in the market in a long time. I had both. I was dual agent recently, and both my seller and my buyer had not been in the market in decades. And the amount of documents that we have now, it was a very frustrating process for them. So I think that, moving forward, I will do a better job in giving more of a heads up to the amount of documents that we'll be looking at. And then there's escrow documents, and then there's this, and there's that. Like, it seems never ending until all of a sudden it's done.
And there's the buyer's documents, the seller's documents, and then they both get signed, and then they both get signed.
Yeah. So they're like, why the hell am I doing all of this?
I just signed this. You did. You signed it for the seller. Now I got to sell it for yourself.
Yeah. So making sure that you help them be aware of the documents, provide a simple timeline or a checklist to help reduce anxiety and build trust. Then we're going to schedule showings and preview homes, maybe not 30 of them. Prepare to write competitive offers. This can be its own discussion. Writing competitive offers is a talent in and of itself. And then lining up your vendors. And as we discussed, we talked in the top of this half hour. Do you have a lender? I do. Well, we also have title companies we like to use. We have inspectors, general inspectors we like to use. We have termite inspectors we like to use. We have plumbing inspectors we like to use. So have that Rolodex. If you're a new agent and you don't know anybody, ask your mentor because they should have plenty.
Yep. Ask your mentor, ask your broker, who do they like? Why do they like them? And ask for an introduction. Don't be afraid to lean on your broker and your mentor. That's why they're getting paid.
Right. And you just said number 10, don't be afraid to lean on your broker or your mentor. That's why they're there. But going to number 9 is maintain constant communication. And one of my teammates says all the time, if my client reaches out to me to ask a question, I have failed in communicating. Like, they haven't, you got to let them know this is on the way. This is coming your way. This is how the open house went. This is what the agent of, the seller said, constantly keeping your client in the loop, unless they say, leave me alone and just tell me what I need to know at the end of the week.
Right. And there are some people that want every 6-hour updates. I have one of those right now.
You got to know, you got to learn the characters and the personalities of your clients pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and then once you have it done, you get to close the deal. And it
Close
can
the
be the
deal.
escrow for anywhere from 45 or 14 or 15 days up to 120 days. Those are
Ay,
not
ay,
very
ay.
fun. Yeah, that's a lot of time sitting there going,
A lot of time for something to go wrong.
pretty much. So it's funny is, I mean, we could talk about this for a whole hour or more. We won't, because we're now at a minute over, but you know what? We had a minute of
And a minute of
silence
silence.
before. Yes. So are you hiding from me next week?
No, I am going to be up and slow, but I can do a podcast while I'm up there.
Okay, good. Up and slow. And for those of us who don't know what slow means,
I'll be here. And
what's slow? You're going to be
San Luis Obispo.
Oh, San Luis Obispo. This is going to be talking very.
San Luis Obispo.
San Luis
Half of
Obispo.
my family lives up there now, so I'm finding myself going up there a lot. I don't mind. It's beautiful and it's an easy drive. And I have my mom lives super close to the beach now, which is amazing. So I have a place to go and be where it's beautiful and serene, and spend a little time with my daughter. And I will be able to do my podcast up there. Our podcast up there.
You know what's funny is San Luis Obispo from Ridgecrest is about 2.5 hours. About the same as it is down there. I can go to San Luis Obispo.
We should do our podcast from your friend's place, the coffee place.
Ooh.
I forgot the name of it, but
that would be fun. That would be very fun. Yes. Yeah. Or we could go, because we're going to have Carl come in a couple of weeks and do our the trust one, and he's right there in what is that? Just north of there.
Is he in Paso Robles?
He's in Paso, yeah.
Oh, okay.
We could lasso him and bring him.
Lasso him from Paso? Lasso the Paso?
Lasso the Paso.
We better sign off before this gets dumb.
Yes. No. What do you mean gets? No, I'm kidding. I will end this, and Rachel, I will talk to you very soon. Until next week, everybody.
Bye, Miller.
Tell a friend. Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye. Hey, wait. How do people reach you? How do people get a hold of you?
RachelMoreno.gratishomes.com is my website, and Rachel@gratishomes.com is my email.
Awesome. And you can reach me at sellingkern.com, or you can text me at 760-264-3501, 760-264-3501. Now I will end this. Make it a great day, everybody. Take care.
Bye.